Warning: this story may contain mature themes such as language, violence, and some nudity. Story prompt: Betrayal. Title: Lover's Curse. Lily stared at Cohen. You know you shouldn't be here. She'll get jealous again, and this time she may even do something to hurt you. Cohen frowned. I told her to leave us alone, Lily. I know you think I'm just saying this because of the curse, but I love you and I think we're destined to be together. Lily flinched. You say that, but we still change form. He reached up, taking her blonde hair between his fingers and pressing it to his lips. She pulled from his grasp. Cohen retracted his hand and hurt. It's just because you're scared and haven't opened your heart to me yet. It's all Yvonne's fault. I'll tell her if she doesn't stay away, I'll completely cut ties with her. Lily trembled. Did he not know how scary Yvonne was, especially now that she could turn into a snake and Lily was stuck with a small rabbit form? Cohen sighed. Do you really think she would hurt you? Lily now stared at him. Are you kidding me? The 12 of us are in this damn mess thanks to her tripping me. Just because you were looking at me, and you think she wouldn't do something more to hurt me? Cohen bit his lip, running a hand through his short black hair. What can I do to make you see Yvonne won't stand between us? Lily glanced out the window of her house and froze as she noticed a very familiar figure. Please, just leave. Lil, please. He took a step closer, but she moved away from him. I can't do this, Cohen. You come here and try forcing your feelings onto me? I can't. I don't love you anymore, she screamed, closing her eyes as tears slid down her face. Cohen froze. What? She looked at the floor. The moment you and Yvonne started dating, I decided to cast my feelings out so I could still hang out with you. I didn't want things to be weird between us, and Yvonne knew this, but as soon as she noticed your feelings beginning to shift to me, she told me to leave. Cohen stared at Lily. That's why you suddenly got so busy, and you rushed to get hired on as Hades' assistant? Because you knew you'd be busy? So, it's my fault you got trapped with us in this curse. Lily looked up to find Cohen staring at her. She wanted to correct him. She wanted to tell him it wasn't his fault, but she knew if she did, that wouldn't help them. Yes, it's your fault. If you had just stayed true to Yvonne, then I wouldn't be in this mess. I wouldn't have to worry about losing my human self and turning into a freaking rabbit. At least your animal form is a horse. You aren't some small, fluffy creature that can be killed by almost anything. Now her anger and fear came to the surface. Do you have any idea how much the others hate me now? No, because you weren't the one who dropped and broke that forsaken artifact. You aren't the one who is being blamed for something that could ruin our lives. All because Yvonne was jealous and wanted to hurt me. Well, guess what? She got it. And you? You want to sit here and pledge your love to me when we aren't destined to be together. That's like sealing our fates. Do you want to live the rest of your life as a horse? Because I don't want to die as a rabbit. She was panting now, tears spilling from her eyes. So please, just leave me alone, Cohen. I am begging you. Please. Cohen clenched his fists. Fine. But we're not done here. Once he was out of her house, she collapsed to the floor, crying her eyes out, rocking back and forth. Her emotions were such a wreck right now, but she still loved him. She had simply lied because she knew, deep in her heart, they weren't destined to be together. If they had been, surely something would have changed by now. They would be normal humans again, and the curse would be gone. A shiver raced down her spine as the door cracked open. Look at the little rabbit curling into herself. You know, Lily, all of this could have been avoided from the start if you had just left Cohen and me alone. Lily sat up, but was unable to move as her eyes noticed something shiny in Yvonne's gloved hands. What are you doing here?" Yvonne smiled, and Lily shivered. "Just making sure you do the right thing. You know, I've been thinking ever since we were cursed that the rabbit really does suit you, and the snake suits me. After all, snakes often devour rabbits." As Lily stared at Yvonne, the worst kind of fear consumed her. "I've also been thinking, the easiest way to get Cohen away from you is to remove you from the problem." Lily's eyes grew wider. Please, Yvonne, we've been friends for so long. Yvonne closed the gap between them. "Hush, sweet Lily. I won't kill you. No. You see this knife? It's meant for you to use on yourself." Now Lily was beginning to hyperventilate. What was Yvonne even saying at this point? Yvonne began to laugh. "Yes, see, it makes perfect sense. You just couldn't bear the curse anymore on top of Cohen pursuing you." She was grinning. "Yes, Cohen would be so heartbroken, and he wouldn't blame me. If anything, he'd turn back to me, and that's when I'd strike. After all, no one would ever guess that I would be behind your death and his. I'm not his destined one, and neither are you." Shock filled Lily's face, and Yvonne cupped her cheek. "Did you think I could watch him fall for some other hussy? You should know better than anyone that I wouldn't let that happen." Yvonne placed the knife in Lily's hand. "So, I'm going to leave, and you will end your life tonight, and once you're gone, I'll comfort our dear Cohen, and then be sure to end his misery." Yvonne patted Lily's cheek before turning to leave. No." She stopped, turning to stare at Lily, who now was standing on shaky legs. "What did you just say to me?" Lily glared at her. "I said no. For once, I am standing up to you, Yvonne. I won't give in like I always have." Yvonne smirked. "Oh?" She walked over to Lily, grabbing her face roughly. "You're standing up to me when I tell you to kill yourself? Now, come on, little rabbit. That's not very nice of you. I was giving you an easy way out. You and I both know you'll never find the person who will save you from this curse. You're too timid. You can't even There was a strange swish, and then pain filled Yvonne. She glanced down, seeing Lily's trembling hands pressing the knife deeper into her gut. Fresh tears slid down Lily's face. "The little rabbit has fangs after all," Yvonne spat out bitterly. "But you should have used more force than that." Lily wasn't sure what she was doing right now, but her flight or fight instincts were telling her to fight. She twisted the knife. "I'm not dying just so you can have things your way. I'm so tired of that." She ripped the knife out, and Yvonne gasped, reaching down to cover the bleeding spot. Lily, what have you done?" She turned pale, hearing Cohen's voice as he rushed over to Yvonne. "Don't worry, Yvonne. I'll call for an ambulance, and we'll get this taken care of. Lily, what are you doing? Put that down and help." "You're worried about her?" Cohen was so confused. "You just stabbed her. How can I not be worried?" "But she wanted me to kill myself. This knife was hers. She gave it to me, telling me to kill myself so that you would be so heartbroken she could be by your side and then kill you." Cohen frowned, looking at Yvonne, who was crying. "Help me, Cohen. I just came to talk to her, and she—" "Hush now, Yvonne. I know. It's okay." Lily felt hurt. No, she felt devastated. Was he really not going to believe her over Yvonne, after everything Yvonne had done to her? "You're such a liar, Cohen. You don't love me. If you did, none of this would have happened." He didn't have time to listen. "Just give me something to stop the bleeding." He didn't hear Lily move, though, and he turned. "Lily, come on!" But there she was, and he felt the pain of something stabbing into his chest. Lily?" Shock crossed his eyes as he stared at her. "I guess Yvonne is getting her wish after all." Lily leaned in, placing a soft kiss against his lips. I'm sorry, she whispered, and then, just like that, she was gone. Cohen and Yvonne lay there in Lily's house. The sound of sirens and flashing lights filled the house, but it was too late. They had both stopped breathing, having bled out before the paramedics got there, and no one ever saw Lily after that. A few years later. Hades, do you think Yvonne and Cohen really wanted to be buried next to each other? He sighed as he stared at his wife. I know they loved each other, and that at one point they had mentioned it. Jean looked over their graves. Oh, look, it's a little rabbit. But what an odd color of fur. Hades glanced at where she was pointing to see a small blondish white-furred rabbit resting near Cohen's gravestone. He frowned. I think it's dead, but I wonder if someone lost their pet. He wrapped an arm around Jean as she gasped. The poor thing. There was a strange look in Hades' eyes as he guided Jean away. Let's head out. I'm going to be late at this point. She nodded. I'm sure your friends are just happy that you come to pay respects to them on the day they were murdered. It's too bad their killer was never found. He glanced back at the dead rabbit once more. Sometimes people can just change and vanish without a trace. I'm sure she got what she deserved. Karma always gets you, like a curse. The end! I hope you all enjoyed this piece. It's a small branch off from a future series I intend to create, though this goes down a much darker path than what's planned for the future series. And as always, if you haven't yet, like, comment, and subscribe. Your support is greatly appreciated. Bye, guys!